What if you could see things other people can't? Not metaphorically, not emotionally, but with your actual eyes. Spirits, curses, things that should not exist. In today's video, we're diving into a Nigerian comic that blends mystery, horror, and the supernatural. This is Celestial Highs. Celestial Highs is published by The Machine, written by John Uche, with artwork by Francis Goodluck. This video covers volume 1, which is available for 5,000 naira at the time of this recording. I'll be leaving links to where you can get a copy in the video description. If you enjoy content like this, kindly consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like on this video. It really helps support the channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. Our story opens in Aba, Abia State, Nigeria. Rain pours endlessly from the sky, not the gentle kind, but the heavy, stubborn rain that soaks the streets, floods the gutters, and refuses to stop. Our narrator ponders why it rains like this in this city. She talks about how the city and the rain are lovers. When the two interact, they give birth to horrifying mothers. By the way, our narrator in this chapter is Uju. Chapter 1: Death and Rain. Later that night, under a clear moon, St. Andrew's Hospital comes into view. Inside the morgue, everything is quiet. Metal drawers line the walls. A woman with glowing eyes slips on her gloves, ready to get to work. Her body lies at the center of the room, and across it stands Odi Maria, uneasy. The woman with the glowing eyes is Uju, calm, smoking, and completely unbothered. Odi tells Uju she should slow down on smoking. Uju brushes it off, saying it's just a vape. She adds that she'll finish examining the body quickly so they can leave. As Uju begins her work, the temperature in the room drops. The light dims slightly. She exhales and invokes one of her abilities. Moon eyes sees lies. Her eyes glow blue. These are the celestial eyes. They allow her to see things most people can't. The smoke from her vape flows into the holes in the body. As her ability begins to work its way into the body, two strange holes on a corpse's stomach begin to emit a dark gas. These holes aren't normal injuries. Something killed her, and whatever it wasn't human. Odi notices a strange smell, which Uju explains is a signature left behind by monsters, as every creature has its own scent, and this one, it belongs to Nkapi the Shrew. Uju explains further that when monsters kill humans, they mark the body. Most try to hide it, but trained hunters like Uju herself can always recognize the signs, and that's how she knows this wasn't a normal murder. Odi calls Uju's attention to the corpse as its wound begins to ooze out a strange black liquid. Then the corpse begins to convulse. Suddenly, the body splits into two. The upper half starts growing multiple legs that looks arachnid. The body contorts, bone jerking unnaturally. Then, the head flips backward, revealing a face that has grown an extra pair of eyes where they don't belong. Whatever killed her didn't just leave its mark, it left something behind. The creature fully emerges, no longer human, half corpse, half giant spider. Uju is surprised by this monster as she calls it a new one. Udi panics and urges Uju to kill the monster. Uju hesitates casually, and then she admits something unexpected. She doesn't know how to kill it. She's trained to hunt monsters she understands, and this one is new. Chapter 2: To all the feelings that colors my world. This chapter opens up in Uju's apartment. Her phone is vibrating beside a cluttered table full of empty bottles, crushed wrappers, and a half-finished meal gone cold. She checks the caller and it's Udi. She drops the phone, stating she's not in the mood to talk. Uju then slits the drawer open. She pulls out a vape vial, the last one. She catches her reflection in the mirror. Her braids are messy, her eyes are tired. She reaches for her phone again and states she's calling someone named Mama Uzo, hoping she's going to have a gig for her now that she's broke again. The phone beeps and the call bounces. The number is switched off. She's going to call Mama Uzo back in an hour. The story then shifts outside of Uju's apartment in Enugu State. The sun sits low in the sky, painting everything orange. People move through the streets, talking, arguing, selling, and the city is alive. Back to Uju's apartment, she leans against the balcony railing of her apartment. Below her, rooftop stretches into the distance. Zinc, concrete, narrow roads winding between houses. Smoke drifts from her lips and mixes with the evening air. Uju says the city is alive, not just metaphorically. It's a living cosmic thing, full of life, light, and color. This city is also a safe space. It has its pros, and one of them being the peace and quiet it offers. She watches the streets below, but it also has its cons, and these cons comes in all shapes and sizes. Then we see two children run onto the balcony. They shove each other laughing out loud. They greet Uju and she asks them where their mother is. They told her their mother went out and those were her neighbor's children. The kids inch closer and request Uju to do a magic trick for them. They beg her they've been good children just like Uju told them to be. Uju exhales slowly. The children request a magic trick where she turns smoke into an animal. They pester her further until she gives in. Uju gives in to their request eventually. A note flashes through her mind. If she ever decides to have kids, one will do. Two is a nightmare. Uju then raises her finger. Her eyes glows faintly. Smoke gathers, it twists, condenses, and it takes shape. A small bird forms from the vapor, and the children are delighted to see the magic trick. As they sing the song, Chikiliki Give Me White Finger. This is a song from a children's game in Nigeria where kids call out to egrets to leave white spots on their fingernails. Then a voice cuts through the moment. It's the children's mother. She's not pleased with her kids hanging around Uju. She's welcomed by her children anyways. She tells them to go inside as she plans to have some words with Uju. The children oblige and now she faces Uju. She resounds her warning to Uju to stay away from her kids. She fears Uju will corrupt them with her black magic. She calls Uju a whore and a witch as she raises her rosaries as if binding an evil spirit away. Uju pays her no attention. Eventually, Uju acknowledges her, but the woman is not having it. She warns Uju again to stay away from her kids. Uju watches her and says nothing, but inside, she thinks the same thing she always does. She may hate her, but she better hope nothing prowling these streets ever finds her first. The woman turns to leave, and then we see something only Uju can see. An entity has lodged on the woman's shoulder. This is one of those things the celestial eyes can see. Back in the present day, a roar fills the morgue. The creature towers over Uju and Odi, terrifying and ready to attack. Uju studies it. This isn't something she can kill blindly. It needs understanding, structure, composition, and she doesn't have all the time in the world for that. She knows one thing for sure: she can buy time. She tells Odi to prepare to run when she orders her to. No argument. And then her eyes blaze blue. Energy builds. The hair bends around her. She invokes the moon eyes. And then she orders Odi to run. She plants her feet, channels everything forward, and then heaven's gone. Energy compresses and fires. The blast tears through the room and it eats the monster clean. Odi is thrown off her feet. Odi complains she might as well almost gotten her killed with the impact. Uju says she might have gone a bit too far with this one. Odi struggles to stand as the two of them continues to chat over the impact of her ability. Then Uju freezes. Her focus shifts. Her expression changes. The remains of the monsters aren't still. They're moving. Something is crawling out of it. Spiders spill across the floor, dozens of them, a living cluster. Now it makes sense. The corpse wasn't possessed, it was inhabited. Uju is satisfied. She has her answers. That should mean safety, but it doesn't. Suddenly, we see the half body of the monster grabbing Odi's leg. The other half is now starting to regenerate. Odi screams in fear. Before she knows it, the creature looms over her, ready to attack. Chapter 3. The story picks back up hours before the present day, where the entity is still latched onto Uju's neighbor. Hey guys, future me coming in here to fill a little gap when I was putting the script together. The chapter actually opens with a little bit of exposition from Uju about superstitious beliefs about pregnant women being prone to different spiritual attacks. These attacks can sometimes come from monsters that the naked eye cannot see. Some of them want to feed on the souls of the unborn children, creating despair and suffering in a bid to break the women's spirits. And when their spirit is broken, they possess their bodies. Back at Uju's balcony, Uju says she has seen many of these monsters, but never has she come in contact with one like this. She's heard of it though, but seeing it now and knowing what it's capable of, it feels like a nightmare. If it's attached to her, then it can only mean that she's pregnant. She feels no one is paying her to get rid of the monster her neighbor is carrying, but she likes her kids and she doesn't want to imagine what it will do to them. Regardless, she proceeds to dispatch of the entity, and her neighbor gets a relief from the headache the entity was giving her. Then Uju's phone starts buzzing. She picks it up and it's Mama Uzo calling her back. They both discuss and Mama Uzo tells her to drop by for a gig. After the call, she goes back inside to dress up and head out. As she's heading out, Odi Maria can be seen waiting for her downstairs. Odi complains that Uju has been avoiding her calls. Uju had actually called her to give her a ride down to Haba to meet Mama Uzo for the gig, and it is revealed that both of them are best friends and they've been doing this together for about 6 years now. Back in the present day, the monster lunges at Odi, but she's saved by a glowing necklace charm around her neck. It blasts the monster away with a sudden burst of force and it sends flying into a wall. Udi passes out, but the monster is recovering, and it's about time Uju gets serious with the monster. She removes her hat and brandishes a glowing sickle, one of her weapons from her arsenal, ready to face the monster. We're treated to a series of action panels where Uju battles it out with the monster. She cuts away at the monster, but it's relentless and it regenerates every wound inflicted on it very fast. She stabs, she slashes, she slices with her abilities, but the monster heals every single thing Uju throws at it. Even after being diced into pieces, it comes back together every time. And soon, Uju runs out of her VIP supply. She's left no choice but to reveal her trump card. She covers her eyes with both hands and her eyes starts to bleed blood. Perfect eyes, perfect world. She initiates one of her super spells and the world around them shifts into another dimension. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 opens with a heavy dose of exposition as Uju breaks down the fundamental laws of existence in their world. This is what she calls Existence 101, and it establishes a power system where everything is interconnected. Uju explains that every single thing in the universe, from the stars and the planets to the smallest form of matter, possesses a supernatural connection called chi. This isn't just energy, it's a literal fragment of spiritual within the physical, a piece of the divine creator, Chukwu, existing within all of creation. The law of their world goes even deeper, though Uju reveals that anything created by humans also possesses a chi, because a person first conceives an idea in their mind through their own spiritual essence before bringing it into the physical world. This creation takes on a soul of its own. This applies to everything: buildings, societal laws, music, dance, and even movies they watch. In this reality, human imagination is a literal engine for creating new spiritual life. To understand how humans or Madu fits into this, Uju breaks down the human anatomy into four distinct layers. There's the Eke, the physical body of flesh and bone. Then there's the Umo, the spirit being that acts as a receptor for messages from the universe. Next is the Onyewa, the incarnated form that carries a person's blood ties and ancestral history, kept alive by Obi, the beating heart and the resting place of those who came before. Finally, there's the Chi itself, the ultimate proof that the universe resides within everyone. The story resumes inside Uju's dimension. I'm just going to go ahead and keep calling this dimension for now, but we all know this feels like domain expansion from JJK and possibly the state of Bankai from Bleach, but you all get the gist. Anyway, she grows tired of the relentlessness of the monster. The monster lunges at her, and slowly we see what being trapped in a dimension can do to whoever is trapped inside. The monster starts to freeze from its leg up to its head until it's totally encased and frozen in place, no longer able to move. The story then takes us back hours before the present. Uju is at Mama Uzo's office in Aba. They are discussing the details of the gig. The victim of Uju's new gig is a new bride found dead in her bedroom after going missing for a few days. The family of the victim thinks it's a ritual killing, but Mama Uzo thinks it's a monster attack. She wants Uju to investigate the incident and take care of the monster. She hands her a half of her payment for the gig with the rest to come after when she brings a piece of the monster back. Uju accepts and Mama Uzo asks her about Odi, who we see is busy taking selfie in the same room with them. She tells Uju she's supposed to be keeping Odi away from her work as it's dangerous. But Uju says Odi is too stubborn and won't stay away. Mama Uzo brings out the necklace we saw the other time and gives it to Uju to give to Odi for protection. She reminds Uju Odi must be kept safe as she's Uju's only friend. Uju thanks Mama Uzo and goes on her way. Back in the present, the monster is all frozen up and Uju is standing in front of it. She takes her stance and proceeds to decimate the monster, punching and kicking at it till it's broken into pieces. Then she grabs hold of something inside the monster's remains, a red orb. She says she's going to take it back as a souvenir to Mama Uzo. Then suddenly she sees a swarm of bugs that turns into a strange apparition. Her dimension is shattered and we're taken back into the morgue. Uju is in pain and pukes blood. She says she had it coming the moment she activated the super spell. Then she goes on to talk about the cost of using her power, and the magic in her vape is the only thing keeping the cost of using this power from killing her. The price of it all is something she wouldn't wish on anyone. Later at Mama Uzo's office, after the gig is done, Uju presents her with the red orb from the monster. Mama Uzo accepts the red orb, cracks it with her hand, then she absorbs the essence from the orb. We then see her being changed to a much younger version of herself. She tosses Uju's balance, adding an extra to it, honoring their deal. She also adds that Uju will be given some vape that will last her for a couple of months. Mama Uzo is curious about the vision of the apparition Uju had after dispatching the monster. She thinks it needs to be investigated, but Uju is not ready to take it up as a gig, and she needs to get to OD as she's been discharged from the hospital. Uju is thankful for the necklace Mama Uzo gave her as it did its job, but this has Mama Uzo worried about its outcome. She explains that the necklace did its job by blasting away the monster, and it only does that when the foe is of greater power than the necklace, which is why she's worried. As always, Uju doesn't really care about this worry from Mama Uzo. She has done her job and she couldn't be bothered any further about the outcome. She leaves and tells Mama Uzo if she has any other gift for her, she'll be seeing her. Mama Uzo tells her something that stops Uju in her tracks while on her way out. It's about her vape and it can only keep Uju alive for so long. Perfect Eyes, Perfect Word are powerful spell that can be casted by anyone with celestial eyes. It sucks a foe into a celestial location or event the caster represents. In this case, the moon for Uju. But it's a powerful spell that fits on the trauma of the caster. In Uju's case, her sickness, a supernatural cancer that eats away at her anytime she casts a spell. Once again, Uju is unbothered about this fear Mama Uzo is having, and she has so much faith in Mama Uzo to keep her safe. The page ends with Mama Uzo expressing her worries about Uju's nonchalant attitude towards her situation. The next page picks up in Enugu. Uju and Odi are returning from the hospital back to Uju's apartment. Odi is having a concussion and she needs to rest according to the doctor. Uju reminds her that that's why she doesn't want her tagging along on her monster hunting trips. Odi insists that Uju's business will always be hers as well. There's really no stopping her. She tells Uju what's she going to do without her to color her world. Uju's neighbors are playing outside her apartment. They both run up and hug her even though their mother had warned Uju to stay away from them. At this moment, Uju admits about Odi being right. Uju's black and white world is void of color because she empties herself of warm, fuzzy feelings. She admits that she needs Odi to remind her of not just her humanity, but the beauty in life all around her. She also needs the kids because, like Odi, they make her feel something new, something different. Happiness, love, care. She doesn't know what it is. The one thing that she knows is this: she now has people to fight for, people to protect from the monsters of our world. As the chapter comes to an end, we're taken to Odi's car and it is revealed that the entity inhabiting the insect swarm from Uju's vision had followed them home. The chapter ends on this note. Epilogue. The epilogue opens at Aba River waterside. An unclad woman stands at the water's edge, lifting a sacrifice towards the sky. We're introduced to a new celestial. He admits to himself he really shouldn't be doing this, and it has never been his place to be a savior. But things have changed. As the woman's ritual continues, the celestial eye splashes down into the water. He floats above the river and continues to reflect on a futile endeavor that has been decades in the making. He decides it's time to return to the plane of reality he has watched over for a long, long time, a place humans have grown to call home. He proceeds to walk into the town at dawn while the streets are still empty, though he thinks it would be nice to see her again after so long. But he has higher things to focus on, bigger fish to fry. The sickness he feels he must purge from the surface of the earth. The celestial arrive at the gate of St. Andrew's. He described his method as quick, immediate, and cruel, noting that it disregards the casualties of the innocent. Working with a cool determination, he declares that he is neither good nor evil, nor an agent of chaos. Standing before the building, he raises his hand, revealing a power similar to Uju's commands, but filled with the sun instead of the moon. He speaks the command, Heaven's Gun. A beam of solar energy erupts from his fingers, causing a massive explosion that tears through the structure. As the building is consumed by fire, he explains his mission to eradicate the first of an evil that will eventually consume mankind. Swallowing it like a python, he stands before the inferno with a dark grin, concluding that there is no better way to deal with such evil than burning it down to the ground. So that was the ending of volume 1 of Celestial Highs. We still have volume 2 to go over, but that will be in another video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this first cycle of first volume so far. I'll be covering the second cycle very soon, and at the end I'll also put together the two volumes into one long form video so that you guys can also enjoy that as well. That will be all for now. If you guys have enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe to my channel, leave a like, share, and I'll see you in the next one.